Hey guys, how's it going? Cody here from Broden and Cody at Flow State. We got a brilliant episode for you today. We talked about a whole bunch of things from Jesus to bloody
videos, old videotapes.
Yeah.
You know, remember the video shop going there?
Yeah.
We had a spoke about pieces of clay. Now, if you're not familiar with pieces of clay, maybe you should have a listen to this episode to figure out what that is.
Exactly.
You may have heard them mentioned before. You may have heard them mentioned in our posts.
Fucking piece of clay.
Piece of clay. Don't be a piece of clay, boys.
Never be a piece of clay.
Never be a piece of clay. And never shit yourself?
And never shit your pants. That's rule number one. I shouldn't even have to clarify that.
That's right. Well, check out episode 8 if you aren't watching it already. But enjoy. We will see you soon.
Enjoy it. Enjoy listening to this.
What was that?
It must have been a flock of geese.
Inside now,
There's
aren't
heaps
they?
of them around here.
Jeez.
I quite often hear them when I'm with you.
Well, I can smell them.
That's disgusting.
Well, Cody, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back in the studio
right.
Where are we? We're
Episode 8.
Wow.
We did it. That's 2 months.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
That's right.
Thanks to everyone for hanging in there for 8 weeks.
We appreciate it. It's been a good time. Been a good run. Been a good time. There's still more to go. There's still plenty more to go.
Oh, this is what we do now. This is a part of our... This is just a permanent fixture.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell your mates.
I was very pleased to see how well it had been received so far.
Yeah.
You know, we're only a few weeks in, but I went to a 30th birthday and found out that after your TikTok situation, you know, with the newspaper and all that kind of stuff, I saw a friend and she goes, "Hey, my dad listened to your podcast." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, he listens to ABC Morning Radio and heard Cody."
Fantastic.
And I was like, "That's hilarious." And I said, "How old's your dad?" And she goes, 70.
Oh.
He loved it.
Really?
And I was like, "That's great."
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That ABC... I wonder how many listeners we truly got from that ABC
Yeah,
plug.
that'd be interesting too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if old Mr. McMurray's having a listen, then, you know...
Thanks, Mr. McMurray.
We appreciate you, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, see, this is the thing, and this is what we aimed for, I guess, with the podcast, is that it's suited for anyone. Anyone can do it, not children, especially.
None of those fucking children.
Exactly. No.
Can't have those listening.
So that's the only group that we're not
suitable for.
Because we talk about everything, don't we?
Well, adult themes, let's say that. Let's say MA 15 plus.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Coming up before the show would start?
MA 15
The following
plus.
program is rated MA 15 plus. It's not suitable for children under the age of 15.
And now it just kind of flashes up real quick. Yeah, we say fucking stuff.
It would say, yeah, it does. But it would say the following program it contains sexual references and sex scenes, and you'd get all excited.
Yeah, you're like, "Mum, can I stay up?" Yeah.
But then the sex scene would come on and it'd get all awkward, so you'd leave the room.
That's right. And your parents are wondering why you leave, and it's obviously to rub one out.
Exactly.
But like, do you remember that video thing that would come up on the screen? It would say, it would come across and say, "Have you got what you paid for?" And then phone the number.
Oh,
like,
I remember that. It just had a DVD.
Yeah, it was on a videotape, and it would go forever, and you just fast forward through the fucking thing. So it'd go, "Have you got what?" And we just read it out. But have you got what you paid for? I don't know. Is that real grammar? Like, it should be, do you have what you paid for?
Perhaps, yeah.
Have you got, it's like those guys, have you got flybys?
Yeah.
No, do you have flybys?
Do you possess?
Are you the holder of a Flybuys gift card? But like, I feel like got is one of my least
Have you
favorite.
got it?
Have you got it? Exactly. Have
you got the money?
Every time you use the word got, there's a better word you could have used.
Yeah.
And I learnt this from a
That's
mate
true.
of mine who learnt that from a teacher that he hated. Mm-hmm. He's like, "I fucking hated this guy, but there was one thing that he said that I agreed with." And I'm like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Every time you use the word got, there is a better word that you could have used."
That's very true. Now I'm thinking about
Shit word.
Speaking of like DVD and movie and old videotape things, remember the have you ever bought or rented a videotape that wasn't quite right?
Yes.
That one. That's nostalgia. It may have been a pirate copy.
And then they show like I don't know if it was the exact thing, but they would show it at the start, and it would be like the ratings, show how the ratings work, and they'd be like, "You yellow bellied, you know, cum guzzling," or something like that, and they'd cover the little kids' ears and shit like that. And then they'd
That's
go,
right. There is.
and all the everyone in the family and the age group would leave when their rating fucking finished or whatever, and then like a porno came on, and the mum and dad started banging in the video.
That's
shop.
right. Yeah, they'd all leave the couch. Yeah. That was That's nostalgia.
Yeah. There was another really good one, which was more modern. It was the you wouldn't steal a handbag, would you? That kind of thing. It's like, and then at the end, it's like, so you wouldn't steal a movie. Ironically, they stole the music.
They did, didn't they?
Like completely ripping off The Matrix, like because that was a big hit at the time, 99, 2000.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they paid. It was made by like the Victorian like film.
Is it Australian?
Yeah, it's Australian specific thing. And I don't think they paid the kids like standard rates to do it or anything like that.
Okay.
I'll have to look into that. This is once again at Broden and Cody fact check.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't take anything that we say in this podcast as
No,
gospel. Whatever you
right.
do, we make it up
That's
a lot of the time.
This is just
an illegal or inferior copy, which you paid good money.
And there might be a few of those getting around by this stage.
Yeah.
I think there might be.
There might be.
Oh, shit.
Oh, bloody hell. I'm getting notifications and text messages left, right, and centre here. Yeah. So, I like that nostalgia. What is it about nostalgia and 90s that really
Look, I don't know if it's
hits
just
you
90s.
in the feels?
I don't know if it's just 90s. I think it's 90s for look, a lot of the people, I mean, it was 10 years ago, everyone was like, yeah, man, 80s. And now it's, yeah, man, 90s. It's the same shit. What happens is like, oh my God, my mum used to go clubbing out to these songs, so I'm going to get on Double J and like put them on.
Yeah.
Like, I love Alanis Morissette. You don't fucking know who Alanis Morissette is, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Triple J's, it's full of shit. Like, I'd rather stay at home and eat a shit sandwich than put Triple J on and
Probably
listen
more
to that.
nourishing intellectually.
Yeah. Just Friendly Geordies, Jordan Shanks, great comedian, did a great a video on Triple J, pulling them apart, satirising them. He was,
yes,
and it was very accurate.
It's
in an exaggerated fashion.
Of course, that's his bread and butter is.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. But it is true that and that particular station is rife with it. I was listening to radio at work and all this shit came on. I'm like, oh, Jesus, this is what happens when you let 20-year-olds run a radio station. They literally, and it was the same case 10 years ago when I was 20, when kids were listening to just like all this 80s stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, this is just stuff your parents listened to when they were your age. What's the go here? Like, I'm glad they had a genuine interest in it, and I'm really glad, especially compared to some of the stuff that was coming out at that point. Ooh, I'd rather people listen to old stuff than bloody some of the shit that's coming out.
It's the hosts and the people they get on.
Yeah, vacuous.
They talk and then laugh at their own sentences every time they speak. They're like, oh, so I went down. What, you went to the festival?
I feel
what?
Like maybe
Stop
it's
laughing.
to break the awkwardness of their own shit. You know what I mean?
They know it's not good.
It's kind of like canned laughter at a sitcom.
It's like a Flintstones episode. It's not funny, but the canned laughter makes you think it's funny.
He's up on the Flintstones, mate.
Oh, but him going
cartoon, you see.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, him mixing up his concrete in a pelican's mouth is
animal cruelty at its finest.
Yeah, exactly.
Another day on the job.
That's hilarious.
The pelican speaks at the end. Just another day at work.
Yeah, that's right. They would always have a Jersey accent. Yeah. You think you've got a bad job? This is horrible, you know.
Fucking hell.
That's nostalgia.
I
the
love
old
that
Flinties.
shit. But that's the thing is that like when I was a little kid and everyone like goes, yeah, my God, Pokemon and shit, which is great. I still love Pokemon. Pokemon never left my life. You know what I mean? As a fucking giant man child,
it's a staple.
But it's always been there because it's been interesting the whole time.
Yeah.
But people are like, yeah, Rugrats and shit like that. But man, when I was
that
a little
gets
kid,
me.
I was I suppose in that same vein of watching the shit and listening to the shit your parents like.
Yeah.
I was into Popeye like a motherfucker. Like I loved Popeye.
Really?
Loved Popeye.
But that's going back.
That's even further. Like that's
60s.
Yeah, like it gets old quick.
Yeah.
Like Popeye. It was Mr. Squiggle. Used to watch that shit.
Mr. Squiggle
I nearly
is
cried
creepy
when I-
as fuck. That
Oh,
blackboard is the
yeah.
darkest motherfucker.
Oh, Gumby. Used to smash Gumby.
Gumby,
Love
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. But man, I nearly cried. I went to the Canberra Mint, and that was when they were doing the Mr. Squiggle run of the coins.
Yeah.
Mr. Squiggle was there. Actual Mr. Squiggle. Real Mr. Squiggle.
Yeah, you sent me a photo of it.
Yeah, the real blackboard, the fucking truck whose name I never forget.
Bill the Steam Shovel.
Probably. Did you say build a steam shovel?
No, I think his name was Bill the Steam Shovel.
That's
that thing with the
crazy.
tongue.
Yeah,
He was like,
fuck, I don't
his
even
tongue
remember.
would be.
But it was he was there. The rocket was there. The only thing
Snail?
the snail was there. The only thing they didn't have was a fucking taxidermed Miss Jane.
Yeah, she dead, Miss Jane.
I don't know. Probably. She's dead to me.
She's dead inside.
Yeah.
For
She was-
stopping Mr. Squid.
Oh, mate, I think she got done for sticking... Nah.
Okay.
Oh.
Once again, on Broden. Was she attractive?
I think all of the people on Mr. Squiggle were attractive.
Yeah.
Not just the people, but the puppets too. Very sexy puppets.
Mr. Squiggle
I mean, like,
was
if you got a
quite-
nose like that, like, you got to say something. So
Yeah, exactly.
you could do a lot of things with that.
He
know what
could,
I mean?
yeah.
He came from the moon. I've never seen a motherfucker from the moon like that.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a motherfucker from the moon.
Mr. Squiggle, the man from the moon.
Du-du-du-du-du-du-dun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Loved that shit.
Yeah. What about Blinky Bill?
I loved Blinky. That one guy did all the voices for Blinky.
It was one girl.
What?
It was a female.
Oh no, I'm talking about
Old
that
lady.
the one guy, like the girl who did the Blinky, but like the one. There's that one guy who did all the voices. He
For
was
the
also
other people.
for everybody else on that show, and he was the guy on Funny Home Videos.
Right.
He's the one Australian voiceover guy. I need to look him up, but
Has
did
he got
that.
the real
How
deep-
you going, Blinky? You know, I'm that Australian voice that
Really?
everybody does.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He does that. You know that old man voice I always do, and I can't stop. I'm looking this up now because I
Yeah,
just
look it
can't-
up.
I can't possibly wait.
Because I know that she did the Blinky. She
Yes.
also did a lot of other characters, but she was Blinky Bill, and she's an old lady now.
Yeah, well, a lot of young male voices are done by females, like, you know, Bart Simpson, Ash Ketchum, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all done by... Why am I in incognito mode?
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, what
So
have you been
Keith
looking-
Scott is the guy.
Okay.
Sarah Aubrey is Blinky, I believe. Let's just go and have a look here.
She was on a podcast I listened to.
Yeah,
The
really?
Darren Petty podcast.
Yeah, right.
And he does a great podcast. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's also a videographer.
Yeah, right.
And he's really good. And yeah, he had her on. She was doing the Blinky Bill
Oh,
voice,
no.
and that's why
That's
it's fresh in
amazing.
my mind. Because she was like, it's extraordinary, or whatever he used to say.
yeah.
His little shit catchphrase. It's
Except, like, as a younger...
Yeah, yeah.
Keith Scott is this guy's name, my goodness.
There's another great voiceover guy from Australia who he does like the Hamish and Andy podcast,
Yeah.
and he does like all the Brownlow metal.
Oh, yeah.
that
He's
real
that-
deep. He's an
Channel
actor as well.
7, that guy.
Channel
He
7,
does
it's real deep.
And now it's time for National 9 News. But not that guy, but he's the Channel 7 guy. He does all the,
Really?
like, you know, the next week on Cooking with Your Grandma. That
No,
kind
that's
of guy,
I know the guy you're thinking of. He does all the TV ones, but there's another guy who does all these like special events, like the Brownlow Medal, and it's
Yeah.
real deep and
Oh, yeah.
heavy. And he goes, but he does Hamish and Andy. People would know him from
Oh,
Hamish.
it's not David Armstrong, is it?
He's an actor as well, old man.
Yeah.
Hamish and Andy,
Yeah,
blah, 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 the gap year, blah, 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 and his real deep voice, and it's a powerful voice.
Have you heard of David Armstrong?
Who's David Armstrong?
So if you ever listen
Is
to
he a bloody
my favourite-
bicyclist or something?
No, he's better than a bicyclist. He's a bloody newsreader. And he's on 3AW.
Channel historically 9 News or something.
I don't know if he's on TV, but he's definitely on the radio. Man, I could listen to him talk all day. He's just got a great
I'm
sounding
gonna look it
voice.
up.
You should check out David Armstrong.
Let's see if it's him.
He's fantastic, and every like when I used to listen to 3AW in the morning, I'd hear David Armstrong come on. I'm just like, oh, it's the sultry sounds of David Armstrong. He's just got a great sounding baritone, I suppose.
Yeah, it could be him.
He's. Have you got a picture of him there?
No.
What's he look like?
Oh, hang on. Here we go.
If anybody's listening to this, I need to look up David Armstrong and Keith Scott. Keith Scott's the guy who did Bullwinkle, and he's like, yeah, you know, just doing that voice on everything that I possibly do. Every time you would see Funniest Home Videos show, which sucked, I hate it, it's just dumb slapstick.
Yes.
But he was like, oh, what am I going to do this week? Well, what do you reckon if we get the... He'd do like these 4 voices that he knew.
Yes.
And just over and over again, and he'd like commentate them. I wonder if he got paid for the Creative Commons or whatever, to the creative rights to make up all the dumb skits. If he had to write them all, because that motherfucker must have been the hardest working dude in show business for like 20 years there.
Yeah,
Just pumping out
pumping
everything.
out content.
Just I was going to say cunt, punting. He was just coming up with everything and just putting it all out there.
Like what? What was he doing?
Everything. He was doing all of the animated TV shows for 9
Right.
and a lot of the shit like, what's that one? The Funniest Home Video shows and stuff like that. Just every time you turn around, or ABC, he'd be on the ABC, he'd just be pumping voices out.
Yeah,
he
it's
was like
crazy.
the only voice, you know.
Voiceover work is money for old rope, isn't it? Because
I mean, it is. It's very hard to get into. I've got some mates that are doing it as,
That's great.
and I wanted to work with them, and they're like, "Hey, it's like this." And I'm like, "That sounds like way too much pressure." You're pumping out 50, 60 ads a day each.
Really?
There's 5 of them there. and they're doing.
What do they work remotely? Like
They're-
people
they're-
give them a script and they like record this and send it back to us.
Sort of. They work on stuff. They work with clients. That's the thing. You're doing 50, 60 a day and you're going between people. But these guys are based in Ballarat. And what they do is like, Cody goes, hey, look, I want an ad for me thing. Here's what I want to say. And they send it down and, Dave or Liam will pick it up and go,
Yeah.
the Broden and Cody podcast at blah, 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 .com. And then they'll cut in some music to it and start and finish to make sure the diction's correct. Boom, fuck it off. That's taken them 10 minutes. Send it out to you. You go, no. I think you could say Broden and Cody instead of Broden and Cody, and like change the affliction, and then you're like, fucking hell.
Like, you got to, when you're doing that sort of work, you got to give people like one chance to change shit.
Yeah.
Make a list.
Yeah.
Don't keep, because people, like had it with video editing.
Yeah, they abuse that.
Yeah, they're like, actually, they think about it again. Like, they don't say anything in the first look at it, and then like, actually, I was thinking maybe we could change the text. Like, fuckhead. Do it all in one hit. You don't understand how frustrating it is to think you've had something done and wash your hands
for
and the whole
a lot
thing.
of the situations where people are kind of putting something up that's really going to be on people's screens for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And they think that like it matters to a degree, but not to the point where your font is really going to matter that much.
Yeah.
Just say, look, here's a default for you, mate. Arial, bold. Fucking hell, just get it done. Get it up there.
Get it done. No one cares.
It's the words that you need, not the Iron Maiden style font.
I did a lot of work for these fucking piece of clays.
Yeah, just clays.
Just, they masturbate over Gary Vaynerchuk videos. And they're just I can be rich and famous too. And they're just doing a pyramid scheme. And they're just fuckheads.
Yeah. I saw a Gary Vee video the other day, and I decided in that video that he is a psychopath.
Yeah.
I think he's psychopath. I think he's a legitimate psychopath.
I think he could be.
I think he's like to the point where he's like, I'm so focused, I'm so driven. Everybody here's here to see me, and they love me, and I love that. You know what I mean? He's fucking mental.
He is. Yeah. He's just like.
And he said at the end of this video, he's like, I'm the kind of guy who's at the room when somebody gets fired. I want him to get fired because I want to see what could happen. You know what I mean? I thought he was Mexican. He's like, man, what you want to do? I want to fire this man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to fucking wait for shit to hit the fan, man. I was like, I thought he was Spanish because he's got this wacky accent, right?
He does, yeah.
It's Vaynerchuk, man. But anyway, and he's talking about how he loves when shit hits the fan. He's like, I'm fucking waiting for that. I'm waiting for it.
I'm waiting for that?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that?
Yeah, it's
it's just like, fucking hell. Stop it.
But like this guy,
Stop
he's
it.
trying to tell everyone how focused and driven he is, and I'm like, motherfucker, I think you're just psychopath. Like he's like, an opportunity for a failure is an opportunity for success, and I'm like, hey, I'm hearing what you're saying.
I pick up what he's putting down.
Yeah.
But it's just the fucking...
You're a piece of clay, mate.
The clays, the cult like following that he has, and they're cult he has. I went to a show of Gary Vee, and the MC of the event was telling people to stand up. Stand up, or you think you can be rich. And it was just like,
I better stand up, or he won't think that I want to be rich.
exactly, yeah. And
Maybe if
then
I stand
5,000
up,
people
he'll
stood
go,
up.
"Hey, you stood up the best. I'll give you 500 grand." Oh, I knew it. Just because I stood up, I can be rich.
And I'm sitting there with my little notepad, and I was like, I'm going to a Japanese restaurant across the road.
Stand up to be rich.
And it was just like they was standing up like one of those Texas churches Sunday morning where they're like,
Pentecostal.
everyone stand up if you feel like the Lord can heal this man of his, and they all
And if
do.
you don't, it's your fault that he
Yeah.
healed.
Why didn't you stand up? My legs are broken. Oh, can the good Lord help you fix your legs and shit like that? It's like
So you went to Japanese instead.
I went across the road and went to a Japanese restaurant because I just couldn't take the circle jerk anymore. I couldn't be involved in the circle
You
jerk.
could have had your ding dong touched, boys.
Maybe they're preaching something good and I should have listened, but I just am not the person that can have people tell me. It's like it's the same. It's recycled tripe over and over again, and now you see people on like all platforms of social media recycling the same
information.
fucking garbage.
I've given you an example of that. We talked about this, and then just after you said that, I found a post from a guy who records bands that literally, the foundation of this and this and this and this, and it was all the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is a guy who I respect, and he's great at what he does, and I would rather listen to him than these clays any day of the week. But I was like, essentially, it's the same message.
Yeah.
It is the same message.
It's the same thing every time.
And it's always something about a foundation of a house. And well, you wouldn't build a house with bloody paper straws, would you?
That's right,
So
yeah,
you pay
your
for the
mate.
good stuff now.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing is I was like, in your circumstance, you are 100% right, and I will happily give you money to do the job that you do really well. And
Yeah.
I'm really sad if people don't see the value in that. But when you're basically just asking for money to tell you how to make money and saying, well, look, you wouldn't build your house on a foundation made of straws, would you? So pay me, and I'll give you the foundations that you need to make money.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
well, guess what? I don't think that I need you to tell me that I need to eat right and be positive when I know that already. And that's
Yeah.
essentially your message. I don't need to know that from you for money.
Grossly overcharging people to give them information that they just get off another
Exactly.
clay.
Off another clay who they've paid and
Who they've
sent it
paid.
down the line.
And that's what I mean by pyramid, because it's just going down the line. It's like,
yeah.
I'm going to make a course, an online course, and I'm going to sell that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, stupid people will buy it.
They will. And
Dumb
some
people
of,
buy it.
and some of the people who you think would be right on top of that will get into it. I had a mate who got down the rabbit hole in that.
Yeah.
And who knows how far? Like I haven't seen this guy for a little while, but he left his good job and moved away to do this stuff. And it always turns into I'm doing success. This is the 30 days to success. I want to see this stuff and making Facebook groups and putting people from.
Yeah.
We go to seminars all over the world. I'm like, what do you do though? And we go to seminars, about success and positivity. Now, hang on, what do you do when you go there? I know we talk about blah blah and how to upskill and success and be business successful and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. What the fuck are you doing? Are you selling aloe vera? What are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? And they can't
They
tell you.
don't do anything.
Like, we give people the skills that they need to be successful
We
in
just
business.
talk about, giving them the skills.
And I'm like, but like to give someone the skills to be successful in business, you need to have been successful in business. You've literally worked for this place for a million years, and that's not you being successful in business. That's you being successful at your accounting job. You trained in that, so you're successful in that. You can't just tell people, hey, I've watched people's businesses fail.
Yep.
I'm going to go listen to some clay and tell you that you're not successful, and this is how you do it. And if you don't follow my word exactly, it's your fault, not mine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's that same whole thing about that.
Well, you
everyone's
obviously just
standing
didn't
up.
do it right. You obviously didn't listen to me. Otherwise, you'd be rich. You know what I mean? Fuck off.
Awesome.
Like I've been doing stand-up comedy. I've been doing comedy for about 7 years.
Did you
stand
listen
up in 5?
to anybody to do that, or
No,
That's
avoided.
probably why you're fucking not
Like-
$1 million rich now?
I didn't go to a course or a class to learn to do it. I took advice from my peers and people who I respected their opinion. But no course, no 3-day course on how to do stand-up and then turn around and become good at stand-up.
No.
But my point is, I could go out tomorrow and I could start my own online business, learn how to do stand-up comedy because I'm experienced in it, and I can teach people how to do it.
Yeah.
And I could overcharge for a course, but I'm not an expert. I'm like I could make a course though, and it would look legit, and dumb people would buy it because I want to learn how to do comedy off Cody Jones. That looks interesting. He's a comedian. And then dumb people buy your shit, you know what I mean? And I could make heaps of money off it. I might do it.
You should actually. This is not a bad idea. How are we going to do this? Because I think this is a good idea. 'Cause
Well, we could do it with the podcast,
Well,
and that's what they're
realistically-
doing. They're not experienced. I'm not a comedian. Like I'm not. I am, but I'm not. You know what I mean? A working comedian.
Yeah.
Full time.
Yeah.
But you could still do it and get away with it, and
Yeah.
that's what these clays are doing.
But they make it look like they're working full time when these guys are also fucking brickies, and they're like, oh, and I've gone back to carpentry and shit like that. It's just it's a step that I need to take. It's just a quick side step, but I'm still going to be on my path to success. It's like, motherfucker, you failed. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah.
a failure is an opportunity for success.
Exactly.
You failed there, you will succeed in carpentry.
Yeah, stay with carpentry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this idea of your course, right? You know what I mean? Let's just get back onto this course for a little moment. I think we're sitting on a gold mine.
I would do it to make your own comedy videos. How to write comedy videos.
But the best part about that is literally you could give every one of 100 people the exact same formula per se, and
Yeah.
they would always be something different because everyone has a different personality.
Well, they
if
do.
you give them this blank sort of form and say fill it with whatever colours you want, or if you told everyone to piss in a jar, they're not all going to taste the same. No, well, let's not take that. Let's say, let's say if you told everybody, to fill these blanks with your personality, they're always going to be something different. So if you give them a joke and say, all right, so we're going to set it up. The formula is going to be the same because most jokes have a setup, a bit of filler and a punchline, right?
Yep.
So you got 3 sections here. So you want circumstances in which, start off with something just common, normal. give it something extraordinary, and then take it home with something blah 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 for a punchline.
Yeah, right.
And you give them these things, and they're always going to come up with something different.
True.
And like
True.
anybody, if they want to put their time into it, could formulate a type 10, type 5.
But the point of the thing is they don't need to pay $3,000 for a course.
Yes, they do. They need to pay Broden and Cody from Broden and Cody Jones.
Yeah, oh, sorry, that's right. They wouldn't be able to do it without us.
That's right. They wouldn't be able to do it without us, without the $3,500 each.
But they can do it on their own.
Yes, that's how
People
everyone
can do
did
it
it before that.
Yeah,
everyone.
You don't need to pay some clay who wears a suit, a pretend suit, and puts sunnies on. It's like, hi, I'm in Thailand and I'm working from my laptop.
That was the funniest video, man, that you did. Those ones where you have a plane or whatever, and you run over the fucking
Yeah, I'm gonna make
green
more of those.
screens. Please do.
Yeah, let's make more of those.
Yes, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, and that's the kind of people. It's like, I'm working from my laptop in Fiji and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know a few of those guys, man.
And good on them if they are doing it.
Yeah.
But stop, like, I don't know. Isn't it kind of annoying watching them
very much so.
preach?
But
You can do it too.
I figured
Of course
this out.
we can.
I figured this out that you like, it's annoying watching them, but you don't have to watch them, and it's hard to reach out because if you go to him, mate, you're into something here, and they're like, no, it's all on the level. I swear, multi-level marketing is different to a pyramid scheme. And it's like, motherfucker, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
But it's literally the same shit. But the thing is that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And also, who am I to say what their life is like and how it should be right?
True.
One thing that I know,
We're being judgmental. I know that.
But hey, man, if you don't trust
comedic.
judgments, if a guy comes at you with a knife and you go, "Oh, I shouldn't judge," he's probably going to stab you. So, oh, but no, maybe he's just a butcher.
Yeah, judgmental. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's the butcher. Being judgmental is good, and it can save your life.
It can.
Or it can protect you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to when I say judgment, I'm not going to pass judgment on this guy because, we all do stuff. But the way I can call bullshit on it is if somebody comes to me and goes, "I've got an opportunity for you," and I'm like, "Me? Really?" Like, how of all the people if you're resorting to talking to me about that, it's like trying to get me to come to your church. It's like, oh mate, I'm flattered, but you're living a lie and you're in a scam. And
you're barking up the wrong tree.
No, not that. You're barking up the right tree. How deep do you want to go with me?
Yeah, exactly. What about the churchies? They're getting a hold of you and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do that, man. Look, I love them, and
their heart's in the right place.
They are, and there's a gentleman who now that talks to me, and he's relentless. He really wants me to come to his church, and maybe one day I will. And I bless his bloody heart for that because, if somebody has this like unconditional God that will love everybody and he feels like that, he's going to love me too, then I really appreciate that. I mean, you live in a lie and you're in a scam and you're in a cult, and why are you giving your money to these people? But I really appreciate the sentiment that you would feel that, I deserve some kind of unconditional love.
I had a friend who put up a status the other day in regards to like a horrible tragedy where a bloke... domestic violence incident, and he put up a status saying, "This is proof that society needs more. That society needs Jesus." And I thought, "Oh, fuck off, mate." And then I thought, actually, you might have a point, because if he was a God-loving Bible God basher or whatever they're called,
God basher,
Jesus lover,
he's a bloody God basher. He beat the shit out of God.
He wouldn't have set his family on fire.
Yeah.
If he loved Jesus and he was obsessed with Jesus.
But
he might have been a weirdo.
Yeah.
And a bit of a loser and wouldn't have had sex until he was married and stuff like that.
But some people do that because they love Jesus. Like wars start because of that stuff. People get crazy for Jesus, baby.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yeah.
And that's the thing is a lot of people say that, look, Jesus, the whole Jesus thing's got locked up really well because it's always like Jesus is coming back. And then it says, if anyone comes back and says they're Jesus, that's not me. But he's coming back, but well, hang on, which one is it? You've got a fucking bit of an error here. A loop going on.
If he comes back, he's going to find it hard, you know
that's
what I mean?
right.
Because he's got to... He's not going to... People in America think he's just going to show up in fucking Texas.
Yeah, that's it.
And
that he's
there.
a white guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a white guy.
Maybe it's
speak
Chris
perfectly.
Stapleton,
But the reality is, if he's coming back, he's going to be coming back to Jerusalem.
That's right. He's
where
gonna
he
be a
fucking
brown
come
fella.
from.
That's it.
And he's going to be brown.
Yeah, that's right.
He's going to... Oh, maybe. What is he? Israeli? Or
I don't know,
where's
mate.
he from?
I get confused with him often.
He's a Jew.
Yeah.
But he's coming back and he's going to be in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And then he's got to get a fucking passport.
That's right.
And good
They're
luck
not
getting a
gonna let him in the
passport without a
States.
birth certificate.
That's right.
Jesus.
You fucking immaculate bastard.
Yeah, and then what? Even if you get a passport, what's he going to do? Fly to the United States
exactly.
to see
Trump
everyone?
ain't going to let him in.
Exactly right. Yeah, he's going to be... Trump's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
You're from the Middle East. What? You're Jesus
That's
Christ,
right.
are you?
And they look up his record and go, oh, you got a bit of a history here with the Roman police.
Yeah, I see you've been in trouble with the law. He's probably...
Crucifixion, is that right? Yeah, you were crucified at some point? Yeah. Well, it's permanent on your record, so...
He's probably in a detention centre somewhere.
He
He's
probably
probably
is.
been back for ages.
There's a show on Netflix called Messiah or some shit. I think it's called Messiah. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like this fucking... Basically, this guy comes back. It's Jesus comes back.
Okay.
I've only watched 2 episodes. I'm like, this is sick! Too bad I don't have any time to watch any more.
Yep.
But I would like to check that out.
The thing I'm interested in that story, the biblical, the Jesus story of his rise and fall. It's a fucking great story.
Oh, man, it's Harry Potter. It's The Matrix. It's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've spoken about it
Yeah,
before.
we have.
But those biblical stories are phenomenal.
They're great.
If you break them down, a lot of people do say that you should, model yourself off the Jesus model.
I do, and I agree with that to an extent, but the problem with that is it's really hard to do when you have to go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard. It's also impossible to cure leprosy.
Exactly, that's a possibility. But like, hang on, wait a minute, no, it isn't. Fuck. But like,
No, it's not. He can cure it.
What am I talking about? I just was waiting for you to finish so I could talk because I'm a piece of shit. Sorry about that, Cody. But like the thing with you can't be like Jesus because that motherfucker. You just got to walk around the desert saying, "Yes, my child," and giving him fish and bread and all that kind of shit. I don't have time to make fucking bread or go fishing. You know what I mean? I can't do that when I got to go to work because I got to pay the rent and the bills.
Yeah.
I owe Simply Energy a bunch of cash and not giving them any
Yeah.
free fucking advertising here.
Yeah.
But,
So what? Yeah. What is Jesus? I suppose he's a what
Profit, Profit.
He's a prophet.
No, not F-E, not P-H-E-T, Profit. That's how
Prophet.
it's turned into. Like
He's a prophet.
The spiritual part of the religion stuff is fantastic, and everyone should have that in their life in some degree. They don't have to call it God. They don't have to do that.
And it
But I
doesn't
think
have to be Christianity.
It doesn't have to be. No, it can be whatever you want. Like I've got it in my life in zero religious way and zero God way at all. All
I've got a faith.
No, not really. Oh, yeah, faith in myself and in people.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to be like, there was this one spirit ghost guy who made the world. I'm
No.
like, look, you know what? There's a lot of things going on in the universe that we got a good idea of what might have happened and things that we don't. And it's okay. You can embrace that.
It's the mystery that's where my spirituality lies, in
that.
the mystery
Yes.
of like, we don't even know most of what the brain does, the human brain. We got no idea what consciousness
Dude, we
is.
just figured out electricity.
Yeah, we just made that. Yeah, we just made a light bulb.
Yeah.
In the scheme of things, in the timeline,
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know anything.
And how close are we to fucking everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's all going to go
crazy.
down the toilet
We
before
just got electricity and we're ready to blow everyone in the world up. We could
yeah,
probably
it's happened like
fucking-
on a large scale. In relation to how much time there's been, it's been like, you know what I mean? It's we've just got industrious, electricity, nuclear weapons. It's all going to shit.
Yeah.
It's all. Can we
That's
keep?
right,
Can we get
keeping
through
the
it?
edge, yeah.
Teslas. It's coming out the other side. We're coming good.
Yeah, maybe
What's going to
not. What's
happen?
gonna happen? Yeah, we could blow everything up.
Yeah, and yeah, it's.
But that's the thing with the faith part again. If you're trying to have faith in humanity that it will fix up, right? Yeah, it's not. I don't think it is. And that's the hard part is trying to struggle with that is you get a bit nihilistic when you go, hey, you know what, fuck it. I can't wait till the bombs go off and we're all fucking dead. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go out raping and pillaging and like, pouring tar over fucking people's houses or whatever.
Well, that's the reason for a lot of the school shootings in the States is they've become so nihilistic and they hate human beings and they hate the human existence.
That's it. And that's
they
where
want to
those
give
are
the world
bred.
back to the animals.
Yeah.
And which is not a bad idea.
Not the worst idea. But, we're
don't
supposed
deserve
to be nomadic. We're not supposed to stay still and build big fucking structures on fault lines.
And
You know what
live
I mean?
in it and
Live in
stacked
it.
on top of each other.
Exactly. But, like, you can't do that now. Look, I don't know why you can't. I think it's because there's probably about 4 billion people more than there should be. I'm not saying we should drop a big old bomb all over the world and just, fend for the rest because I've seen The Walking Dead. And
That's
as sexy as Negan is, I don't know if that's a good way to go about conducting your business. But there's a lot of people in the world, and there's a lot of people to feed, and I think we can feed them all. Well, I know we can feed them all. We just got to fucking embrace genetically modified crops. I'm not saying they're going to give you 3 eyes. I'm saying they're going to grow hearty in conditions that they shouldn't. That's why they modify them, so they can fucking breathe in drought and, you know, all that kind of shit. But it's strange with that stuff, you know. People don't want to embrace these things because they're not of God and they're not natural. It's like, well, mate, you know, if you believe in your God, then that God put that stuff here for us to fucking work on, right? You know, I'm just talking stem cell research is the most promising thing in the world for a lot of people who want to walk again. Christopher Reeves was a huge advocate for that. Yeah, and that has been fucked for years because of like religious stigma. Essentially about, you know, the God's life, you know, it's things that many other reasons, but a lot of the Christian groups that have been getting onto it and saying you shouldn't mess with life, like anti-abortion groups and stuff like that. It's like, man, you have no idea how many lives could have been saved if you could just like, you know, get this little blank cell and go, hey, we need some nerves. We'll structure this one and we'll let it fill itself up with the correct thing and regrow things that shouldn't regrow, reattaching spinal cords and shit like that.
And they're afraid of it because it's
it's not natural. It's like, you're playing God here, and it's like, well, guess what? Maybe, you know,
maybe we are God.
Maybe we are. Maybe we created ourselves. Who knows? Maybe we are just one very small pocket universe.
Well, it's going back to like when the crossbow was invented, the British wouldn't use it. There was the most overpowered weapon that has ever been invented at that time. They wouldn't use it because it was like that, like you're playing God. It's an unchristian
because it was mechanical.
It was mechanical.
Wow.
You're not killing them with a sword.
It's like automated killing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's firing something. It does all the work.
Wow.
So they refused to use it.
It's a more efficient killing machine. Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, imagine those people now that they'd see automatic weapons, bombs,
AK-47 is
drone strikes where you can sit here in the comfortable of your fat ass lounge room, just sitting there
and you
eating
can
Cheetos, fucking kill humans.
Kill humans, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one toy you don't want to be getting your kids for Christmas. Jeez.
A drone.
Yeah, or a striking drone. Like,
with a gun on it.
Get one of them quadricopters. They're sweet.
They're fun as.
Just don't get them into drone strikes. Maybe there could be some kind of like fun kids toy, the Nerf drone strike. Yeah. Nerf Strike XD, like for drone.
Yeah, I can see the ad now.
That's right. It's got like a thermal sensor and you can go around and shoot your friend's cats with it.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Out of control.
Yeah, phenomenal.
But yeah, that's the thing with trying to live like Jesus back on that is that, you know, if we could, it would be great if we could. But, you know, realistically, have a look at all the piece of clays in the world now that are taking advantage of each other, taking advantage of people and taking advantage of the economy that we live in, you know.
In what manner?
In what manner?
Taking advantage?
So, well, I mean, it's there for you to thrive in. And so it's if you are switched on enough and if you're dedicated enough and if you're prepared to sacrifice things in your life that you don't particularly need to do these things, you can be a very successful real estate person. Mm-hmm. You know, you can be a very successful digital marketing person. You could be very successful in a lot of different aspects if you are prepared to do that. But that's not living like Jesus would.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
They can still be nice people, but they're not necessarily living that particular way. And I think you know, if everybody wanted to just like be super, super kind to everybody, never lose their shit, have 12 cunts to hang around with them all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go around healing people, you know, and not really have much of a record.
Cunts hanging around him all the time.
Not really have much of a record between the ages of 13 and 30, you know what I mean? Just kind of be off the charts for a little while. Yeah.
Wear a nice gown.
That's it. That'd be really good just to be able to walk around in robes all the time, you know, washing people's feet, you know, having a great time. But hey, you know what? You also got to work.
You look a bit like Jesus, though. I'm just thinking, like your style.
Maybe it's
based on the logos,
and maybe it's time that people started listening to me.
I think so.
maybe, just maybe. I wouldn't tell you if I was. But maybe I am.
Jesus
fucking Christ. That's
I love that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus bloody
Only
Christ.
Australians say it like that.
Middle name's bloody?
My grandfather used to say, Jesus. No, he used to go, Jesus Christ!
Oh,
like
Christ?
Yeah, like I don't know, a door would shut and hit him on the ass or something like that. Oh, Jesus, by the living Christ! And it used to make us laugh so much.
Yes.
Because it'd be all calm It'd be quiet and lovely at the grandparents' house, and then all of a sudden, like a cockatoo would start eating his vegetable patch or something like that. And you just hear him in the backyard going, "By the living Jesus Christ!" And we would just lose it.
Man, I heard this. I was watching this because I obviously love magic. I was watching. This is another good Jesus one, I suppose, because Jesus was a magician in some respects. I suppose.
Was he?
Well, we had to exist to be a magician first, but let's get into that later.
Oh,
boom, 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 boom! Shots fired, motherfucker.
Fuck you, Jesus.
That's right.
You never existed.
So hey, look, if it's true, I'll ask for forgiveness on my deathbed. That's the rules.
Yeah.
They have to let me in then.
Forgive me.
So I was watching this magician on Facebook, and and it's all set up. But there's this one guy, he does a trick every time, and this guy is like this African UK dude, and he goes, "Blood of Jesus! Oh my, I'm going home. This is bullshit." It's fucking funny. Every time he gets shocked, he goes, "Blood of Jesus!" I'm like, why would you say that?
That's a brilliant one.
Blood of Jesus every single time. It's fucking fantastic.
Blood of Jesus.
But yeah, Jesus pulled some great tricks, man. Jesus pulled off some great.
Stunts.
No, I mean like water to wine, well ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Amazing. Especially.
There's a great Rowan, just on the subject, there's a great Rowan Atkinson video where he plays priest, and he's really good at playing vicar.
Yeah.
And he does like the story of Jesus and how he turned water into wine, and then how he got picked up and went on like a magic show, and he wanted to play the big Colosseum in Rome and stuff like that. He went on to play the big Colosseum at Rome, and it didn't have a good one. You should have seen it. They absolutely crucified him. And like it was this, he does it in such
Rowan
a way.
Atkinson, my goodness, what a genius!
Phenomenal comedian
And a great electrical engineer too. That was his trade.
That was his. Yeah, he was in. He was at fucking Cambridge studying that shit.
Yes, and just happened to be.
Highly
I'm
intelligent.
surprised that like Monty Python was out at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were two separate
Well,
things.
he did a little bit of live work with Monty
He
Python.
did, yeah, but
here
I
and
mean,
there.
like he stood on his own. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Forever.
Yeah.
And those guys all did their thing
Blackadder.
obviously separately. Blackadder, my goodness. Apparently they're going to make more of those.
That's great.
Mr. Bean's putting out new stuff.
Yeah, he's putting new
videos.
Facebook. Yeah, I don't-
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I'm shocked that he's doing it because he was like, he always
obviously
said like,
doing
I
it 'cause
think
he
it's
loves
done,
it.
but
He's doing it because he loves it. Because he doesn't need the cash. He loves Mr. Bean, and good for him.
Mr. Bean's one of those ones that it's so universal. Like you could play that in China.
Because he doesn't speak a lot.
It's non-verbal.
Physical
You
comedy.
don't even when he speaks, you don't need to hear him speak. It's just little mumbles. Teddy.
He speaks a lot more now, but that's just because he's on the computer.
But you could dub it, that mumble and stuff in Russian.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And
Just
the
doing a
Russians are
funny
laughing.
voice.
He's just so animated and brilliant. He really showed that comedy can be physical as well,
Yeah.
like purely physical.
There's a
That's
really
all it
great
is.
routine that he does where he plays air drums. And he
Yeah.
has a concert drummer, like an actual drummer there.
And it's
But
funny though, that isn't it?
It's especially when he drops the sticks, like
And he's like crawling around,
fumbling around, and he hits his head on something.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yeah,
but
it's
one
so
of the
animated
Best, one of the
and,
best
yeah,
bits that I
it's
find
brilliant.
about that is that not only is he doing that, but there's also a real drummer somewhere doing that.
in the backstage.
Yeah, there's like in the pit down, and they're actually doing what he's doing on the stage. But it's just, I wish that they were both there. You're like, I wish
Yeah.
you could see them both on stage because I don't know, I can't tell which one's more impressive.
Because he's got a timer. See, I always thought watching that it was an audio track played, but I'm like, no, it can't be. It can't be. There's no way you can have that that timing and
Yeah.
keep it on track.
Yeah.
But he doesn't fuck up once.
Nah.
What? No, I've tried to find the point where he like
Fuck.
misses the beat.
Yeah.
But there's not
No,
one.
He's practiced that with that guy for so much.
And then he has the cowbell.
yeah. Dunk.
Yeah, it's very fun. Very. For some reason, that's hilarious.
It is. It's fantastic.
You can't
And, like,
work
when
out
you-
why it's so funny.
But when you break that down to what it is, it's just a guy pretending to hit things in the air, but his face sells it more. If you and I
Yeah,
did
he's like
that,
really grooving along at one
Yeah.
point, and he's like,
he's impressed with himself.
yeah, he's impressed with
Yeah.
himself, and then he loses it, and you can see it in his face. He's
Yeah.
embarrassed. He's like,
There's so much work
Flustered.
in the face. Like the body's one thing, but his face.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you or I did that, I don't have enough expression in. I've got 3 expressions and they're all the same. But like if you,
You can't have 3 and they're all the same.
if you have like if you and I did that, it just would not be exactly the way
Yeah.
that he did it. Like no matter if we had it exactly the same, it would not be the same as if Rowan Atkinson performed it because of how his eyebrows move and his face works.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He's just a very interesting looking guy. And like even things like Rat Race. Have you seen Rat Race?
Rat Race.
It's like
No.
it was. So there was a '60s film that I think Mel Brooks did, and it was about like they're all chasing this cash around Las Vegas, and it was just a remake of that.
Yeah.
Had Basil Fawlty, what's his name? John Cleese,
yeah.
is in it. Rowan Atkinson's in it.
Yeah.
John Lovitz is in it. And then
Right.
that kid from fucking American Pie or whatever's in it. No, not American Pie. Like Jason Biggs' friend, I can't remember his name. He's in it too, and Smash Mouth are in it at the end.
Is it what it's and it's a remake of that.
Yeah, it's a remake of this old movie, and where people just go crazy for money.
Yeah.
And Rowan Atkinson's in it as a narcoleptic foreign European guy,
Right.
and they've got to just like get these keys and like run to this, like find on this treasure hunt to get to this locker to open it, and they get like $1 million each or whatever.
Yep.
If they get there, and yeah, Rowan Atkinson is in that, and I thought, yeah, just a trashy summer flick. Rowan Atkinson's in it, and it's Rowan Atkinson in that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg's in it, and she's great. I love Whoopi. She's hilarious.
Have you seen Johnny English? Like they've butchered it now with sequels, but the original Johnny English was so damn funny.
I have not seen that.
It's Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
He's a MI5 agent. Very funny. Like a lot of very British sort of style humour in it. Very crude. A lot of crude stuff, and it's just brilliant. It's brilliant, and Rowan Atkinson does it so well. And he is kind of a name that gets forgotten or lost in the same as John Cleese. You know, all these great British
Oh man,
comedians who are responsible for some of the greatest comedies ever.
I'm not looking forward to the day those guys leave us, man, because that's just going to be a sad time.
It's just tragic. Like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And like so many brilliant comedic minds that I get a little bit stressed, like half stressed when I ask someone if they know a comedian. I'm like, oh, do you know Todd Barry? And they don't. They've got no idea. I'm like, please watch it. Do yourself a favour and watch it, because Todd Barry's a prime example, because no one but comedians knows who he is.
That's probably why I don't know who he is.
You don't know who he
No, I
is.
don't know who he is.
He did a whole tour with crowd work, the crowd work tour. And just brilliant off the cuff, talking to people in the audience.
Yeah.
And he turned the way he can manufacture things to be boring conversation with some boring person in the crowd to the funniest fucking thing in the world is
What a negotiator.
incredible. Yeah. It's negotiation.
Yeah.
He manages to make them say things. He's got it down to such fine art that he can make them say things that he already knows they're going to say to set up a
Wow.
joke. You know what I mean?
That's
You can see him doing it, and just all automatic.
It's interesting. Just this will also sort of bring this back to an earlier point about the crowd work part. And so I saw Friendly Geordies. We mentioned him before.
Yeah.
I saw Friendly Geordies at a show in Bendigo. I think it was the first time he came round. And and he had this is just before he did that Malcolm Turnbull tour where he powdered wig thing.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
So it was before that, and basically it was like a self-help. You know, he just read a bunch of self-help books, and he was like going around and tell people how self-help was horse shit, essentially. And so we're going to this little mini theatre thing, like it was the boiler room or whatever, the engine room. At
oh right, it was
so
there.
he did it in there.
Yeah.
And he says to everybody, "All right, I'm going to tell you about self-help and shit like that." And he goes, "All right, everybody stand up. Seriously, fucking stand up right now. Whoops. Seriously, stand up." And everyone stood up, and he goes, "Now, I want you to clap your hands and jump up and down." And everyone started laughing. He's like, "Now, how much happier do you feel?" And they're like, "Yeah, pretty happy." And he's like, "That's all it is. This everything. I've read 40 books on this. This is the trick. Simply getting the fuck up and doing it is all there is to it. It could have ended there and see you later. Thanks for the $20.
Yeah.
But like, that's the same thing with those piece of clay dudes trying to get up about the marketing thing. Stand up if you want to make money. Yeah. Do you feel driven? Oh, fuck. This man just commanded me to do this thing, and now I feel driven, and now I feel like I'm going to be successful. Well, all you need to do is get the fuck up and shake your hands and jump. Just by simple virtue of, he said, this is one of the things Jordan said, just by smiling and putting on a happy face and pretending to be happy,
It's a direct correlation.
Be happy.
Yeah. But posture is
Yep.
the biggest thing. In if you're slouched over and you feel shitty, straightening your fucking posture
That's
up
right, and you'll feel
immediately makes you feel
Quite
better.
good.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
that's
Because you
right.
feel proper. You feel like a proper lady. You know
Well,
what
you
I mean?
do, and you feel like strong.
That's
like
right.
to be slouched over and hunched over is to be submissive and defensive,
In
whether you
my-
like it or not.
Yeah, in my case, comfortable.
Yeah, I'm comfortable. But evolutionary speaking, if you're not standing up straight and is to
You'll be the alpha.
Yeah, it is, and there is a direct correlation with
But
your
that's the thing, is
mental
that everybody should hold themselves with a little bit of pride and know that you're worth something.
Well, it will give you confidence, and you'll start talking better and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's well documented. Like, and ever since I've started looking into that stuff, I've made a conscious effort to sort of be a bit more.
Keep it up.
Yeah, try, because I do slouch over a lot,
Yeah.
and it does help. It does help.
That's it.
For sure. And it's crazy how things like that, just little things in your body, can have such a direct correlation.
Very small changes too, isn't it?
Gut health and
Yeah.
and your mental health are in sync with one another. Like, you can have a day where you just eat nothing but green vegetables and green veggies and water, and you do that for 3 days, you'll instantly feel fucking better because your gut's in a state.
Isn't
of
it simply
health.
just a matter of doing it though? Like, you know what I mean? Instead, it's just literally, you don't need someone to come and you don't need to pay someone to tell you to do it. You're just gone, I want to be healthier. Well, what do? I'll stop eating fucking chips. Done. Stop it now. There's no, I'll do it tomorrow. I've got to finish this packet. Throw the packet out. Same with quitting smoking. When I just quit smoking, it was just a matter of just stop doing it. Just stop it. Like, what's the why? Why are you doing it? Is it costing you too much money? Is it making you hack every morning up?
This is the
just
thing.
Fucking stop.
But just to say stop it, that's not enough.
It's not enough. You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
What you need to do, yeah. Well, you need to. I feel like you need to break it down over a course. You know, it's going to be a journey.
Yeah.
But you need to go one day at a time,
Yeah.
and you need to go, what
Stop
stupid thing am I doing that is not helping me achieve anything? What do I keep doing? Can I stop doing that today?
Yeah.
If you can, you should try and do it. You know what I mean? If you feel like you can stop smoking today,
Yeah. And if you get
because people, you get caught up in your own head and you go, no, well, I'll finish this pack off and then I won't buy another pack after that. And then you're back to the shops because your mindset's changed.
Yep.
You need to do it right then and there. Throw the pack in the bin.
done.
Be strong
That's
about
your
it.
that's your decision. That's what I mean. That's the just do
Done
it
it all.
point.
Yeah.
If you make a decision and then it takes you 3 days to implement a decision, then you're probably
You're not
not
serious about
actually
it.
going to do it. you
Well,
know?
your mindset will change. You'll be like,
Yeah.
actually, what was I thinking? I don't
Yeah.
want to quit
I got
smoking.
3 days
I
to
love
stop
smoking."
thinking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas if you're staunch, throw the pack in the bin. Maybe you'll go and buy another pack,
Exactly.
but at least you're
You
really
made
trying to
the
stop
effort there.
today.
And that's why the quit emblem thing changes. Like, every time you quit, you get a little better. It's like you
Yeah.
keep coming back, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got fed a little bit of information that was, and probably wrong, but it helped me. It said if you can get past 3 days without a smoke, then you're in the clear. You won't smoke again. And
I would say 60 days.
well, I'm going to say I didn't know that, so I got to 3 days and I was done, and I just didn't even think about it anymore.
Really?
And I'm sure it was probably a lot longer than that did before I stopped getting angry or whatever, you know, getting cranky. But once my brain was like, I did the 3 days, I'm clear, I'll be fine, and I just forgot about it, and I just went about doing my normal stuff, and it was like, I got misinformation. But
Yep.
it worked for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I psyched myself, I placeboed myself out of it. And also,
you need to do something else.
I could have bought a car with the amount of money I smoked. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Over that period of time.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Well, it is. You can look at it like that,
Mm.
but you could also say, like, if I saved the amount of money, like if I just didn't buy barbecue shapes with my groceries, you know what I mean? Like, you could buy a car. you know?
Yeah. Oh, but that's the thing, is that's a good rationalizer if you really want to do something.
You really want to quit.
because that's really bad.
Especially
for you.
now because it's horrible for you. But
Oh man, they're 3 times as much as they were when I quit.
it's fucking crazy now.
Crazy.
It's so much money.
Man, I remember when I remember when my nana quit when smokes went up to $5 a pack.
That's too expensive.
Yeah.
Now what are they, like $35?
Maybe $35-$40.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Then you go over. Whenever I go over to, like, I'd go to Southeast Asia a fair bit.
Yeah.
Whenever I go over there, Vietnam or whatever, I'm on the dast because it's just so cheap. It's like, it's crazy how
Mate,
cheap they are. I'm
Get a
smoking-
couple of duty-free cartons to bring back, hide them in the missus' luggage, and put some
Yeah.
in the overhead.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I do smoke over there because I don't know. I have to.
Have a
Because
couple
it's
of
so
days,
cheap.
mate. Yeah, you're on holiday, man.
Yeah.
And this is the thing is that you're also a grown man, and you're allowed to fucking smoke if you want to. You
I'm
know what I
allowed to?
mean?
It's not against the law?
It's not, and that's the thing is, like, even if they made weed legal, I still wouldn't smoke it because I don't like it. Like, it's not
Yep.
my thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not. It's and like I'm glad that my brain switched off the darts because.
Yeah.
They like it's not conductive to health, you know, and I'm trying to just better myself a little bit by shutting the fuck up and just doing shit.
Yeah.
On that note, we should probably shut the fuck up and finish this.
Yeah,
It's gone
that was a
on
good
long enough.
podcast,
It was.
man.
We didn't
Well done.
even talk about anything we wrote down.
No, we might have to pick it up in the next
That's right.
episode.
This is what happens when you get into the Broden and Cody flow state.
Once again, we've gotten into the flow state. And thanks everyone for sticking around for 8 episodes. We hope you can stick around for more. There's going to be heaps more to come, lots more in the pipeline, a new web series, a new live, weekly lives, and we're doing a whole bunch of shit.
And also, by this time you are seeing this, may or may not have a new live show coming up, so you'll probably be seeing ads around that. We'll be working on that and hopefully pumping out a few pretty sweet gigs that we can sell out.
Exactly.
We love selling out, boys. You know about this. Well, Cody, congratulations on a fantastic episode 8.
Thank you. Episode
Well
8 done. Thank you guys for sticking around. Enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, tell your friends about the Flow State podcast. I've been Cody.
My name's Broden.
And